Welcome to Shaken and Disturbed, everybody. This
Hi,
is
everyone.
Father Carp here with Mother Thrasher. You have to say it like that. On another exciting episode of Shaken and
Hold on.
Disturbed. Exciting, little gruesome. We'll get into it. But
It's Mother
happy.
Thrasher.
Ooh,
Do you like that? Do
yeah,
you
I
like that?
do. Yeah,
Yeah, you like that?
yeah.
Mother
Oh no, I don't like that.
Thrasher.
No, I don't like when you say that to me.
All right.
That's
Listen,
very, very
go-
Matt the reindeer voice. A little.
that's right. Well, I bought this silly little soundboard, and that's the first time I've ever. Do you want to hear the other things I can do?
Yeah,
Hey, it's me. I'm a robot. Hey, it's me, JT,
you sound the
John.
exact same as you
Oh,
just did.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, what about?
What about right now? Can you hear me now? I'm a little baby.
And you
Hi,
look
it's
like
me, a little baby.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
you you sound like you inhaled helium in a balloon.
Hi,
Hooray!
it's me. I'm a little baby. It's me, Snoopy. I'm a little baby. Maybe that whatever's.
Whenever
Snoop.
Snoopy talks, I'll
That
use
is a
this
little Snoopy
effect.
voice. Okay,
So wait,
good.
you don't hear anything?
Now you're like silent.
What the fuck? This thing's fucked up. Hold on.
What about right now? Do I sound any different right now?
Yeah, now you sound a little
Like a
different.
female? Like a female?
I wouldn't say a female sounds like that, but like maybe a female could
All
sound like
right.
that. All right,
All right.
well, we'll get to it.
All right. Well, we got to that. But anytime
That,
you want me to be Snoopy, I'll just be like,
Hey, I'm really hungry. I want to treat.
how about
yeah,
that?
that I love that. That is how
Okay,
Snoopy sounds.
perfect. Great.
Well, we're going to cover that on next week's case, the mystery of the
Yes.
soundboard. This
Love
reminds me
it.
of a mug that
What?
I have that Nadine got me. It was like
Yeah.
the old school like babysitter clubs covers and like all these
Yeah.
like old
Oh,
things
I
where it
love
was like
that.
it's like this detective and it's like the mystery of who gives a shit and then just in the corner it says nobody cares.
Oh my
It's
God, that's true.
a great mug. But
That's good.
welcome to Shaken and Disturbed, everyone. We have an exciting case to talk to you guys about. We are squarely in summer. It is August
Can you
already.
believe it's August? How did this happen?
Well, I forget because like I feel like when summer starts, kids get out of school
Right. But
late
it's,
June,
yeah,
right? Even though college kids get out in May, and you work at
right.
a college, so I'm sure you kind of have like an odd sense of this too. Because
Yeah.
now that it's August, I forget that college kids go back in like a week.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
some
we're
people
getting
go
ready.
back,
Yep.
like and I just feel like college break. I don't know because I think about like
Yeah.
kids being off of school. I feel like summer's really just like July, where everyone collectively has off, and then like that's it, and then we're
I
back at
know.
the
It's kind
swing.
of
So
true. Yeah,
it's
it's kind of
crazy.
true.
Um,
Well, I'm ready for the heat to subside. It's a pretty nice day here today in Pittsburgh, but you were just in New York and felt the heat wave there. Same thing was
yes, listen
happening
to
here.
NMR last week
Yes.
to understand my plight.
Yeah.
Well, I feel great in the marina. Just want everyone to know I feel
Well, that's
great. I feel
fair.
fun.
Yeah.
Shall we get into this week's case?
Yes, let's do it. Now, this week's case is very interesting, guys, because it takes place on the East Coast, but specifically some of the things that happened were in Ocean City, Maryland, which is, if you've been listening to me on the show or even before, you might know that I vacation in Ocean City almost every year, almost every summer.
He loves
And
getting crabs.
I love to go down and get some crabs.
Yep.
And yeah, so I'm gonna have to pipe in with some of my own thoughts and details here tonight, just like the way Daryn did with the Galita case. Daryn, you mentioned that before.
John, I never pipe in with any of my opinions on anything. So let's
Yeah,
stop
that's true.
pretending that you
Yeah,
know me.
yeah, that's fair. All right, well,
Thank
let's
you.
get into the episode. So, Joshua Ford was a mortgage banker and an insurance underwriter living in Fairfax County, Virginia. And in his youth, he had served in the U.S. Army and attended Norfolk State University.
Isn't Fairfax County? Is that where like McLean, Virginia is? Is that in
I think
Fairfax?
so. I
I think
think
that's like one of the
so.
most expensive counties in the United States.
Yes, that like the counties that are near DC especially are very
Gee, I
ritzy.
wonder why.
I
Very
wonder why.
interesting. Very interesting, these public servants that live
These
around there.
servants of
Hmm.
ours, yeah. Well, in his 30s, Joshua was an intimidating presence. He stood at 6 feet. Bless you, Daryn. Bless you,
Sorry.
Daryn.
Sorry,
Six
Snoop.
feet two, with a black belt in karate and a distinctive dragon tattoo on his arm.
My fiance is a black belt in karate as well.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Ooh, I want to see her do like a move on you. Can we get that as a video on Patreon?
Oh my God, I wonder if she could do a move on me
Oh
because
my
I'm like
God,
a foot taller than
please.
her. But yeah, maybe she could. I will try. I'll ask her if she knows
Just
any. I mean, if she knows any moves. But yeah,
Just a
she's a
little
black
thing
belt.
where she like maybe picks you up and like throws you on the couch. Okay.
Ooh,
Hi-
girl,
Not like
you
that.
gotta pay
That's
extra,
from,
extra
I
for
think you're
that.
thinking OnlyFans. I'm talking Patreon.
Mm.
So his family, excuse me, his family had actually already experienced unimaginable tragedy. Joshua's niece, Kelly, had been the victim of a brutal unsolved murder in Cape Cod where her headless body was discovered, which is horrible.
Jesus.
Now, despite his grief, Joshua's brother Mark Ford said of his family, quote, "We push forward, we're a strong
Oh
family."
my God, I know a Mark Ford. That's what's so crazy. Not that that's not an
Really? I hope it's
uncommon
not the
name,
same
but
one.
no, I don't think so. If
Well,
his if
yeah,
his brother, like if he had a
yeah,
niece, let's put it this way,
yeah,
that
yeah.
tragically died and he knows I'm into true crime, I would have thought this would have come up. But
Mark
maybe I'm
Ford
wrong.
isn't that common. I don't know. I'd maybe check into that potentially. But Joshua's luck changed when he attended a Christmas party in Boston and he met a cute girl named Martha Crutchley. Now, 51-year-old Martha was originally from Kansas and now worked as an insurance broker in Chantilly, Virginia. Both had been married before and each had one child, and the two really clicked and ultimately decided to move in together in Fairfax County, Virginia. And in 2002, after being together for a little over a year, they decided to take a vacation to none other than Ocean City, Maryland. Now, to be clear, I love Ocean City. I have so many memories as a child. I went there every summer with my dad's side of the family. I go there now as like a sort of nostalgic summer weekend, long week type of situation, and I love it.
Stupid question. Where do the Orioles play?
Baltimore, Camden
Baltimore.
Yards.
Camden
Yes.
Yards. Okay. And is that
Why?
near? I just, because I went down there for an Orioles game and like that's really the time. And I've been to DC stuff before, but that I remember
Yeah,
like I loved Camden Yards because it's on the
it's
water and it's
beautiful.
a
Yeah,
beautiful state. Like we just went for a
it
Yankees
really
game. I kind
is.
of came there and came back, but I wasn't sure how far that was from like
Oh,
Ocean
Baltimore is
City.
about 2.5 hours from Ocean City. Yeah.
Okay.
Baltimore is
Okay.
like central Maryland, right in the bay. And then Ocean City is way, way over on the East Coast.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha. So
exactly.
that same weekend, so they're vacationing there, and that same
Yeah.
weekend, 24-year-old Erika Elaine Sifrit and her husband Benjamin BJ Sifrit were also in Ocean City. And on paper, Erica and BJ, is a nickname, seemed to be an average young couple who were married, in love, and enjoying a beach getaway. But behind their carefully curated image was something far more sinister. Erica grew up with a wealthy family in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Pause.
Yeah.
Altoona, Pennsylvania, very familiar with it. My best friend lived there for several years.
More west or more east?
It's more west
So it's
of
closer to
Baltimore.
Pittsburgh. No, but
Yes,
like in
technically.
Pennsylvania. Okay,
Let me
okay.
tell you. So it is 1 hour north of Cumberland, where I grew up.
Oh,
So,
that's not
so
bad.
kind of like west, like, the western half of Pennsylvania, but not like as far west as Pittsburgh. But it's also where I believe they found Luigi Mangione at that McDonald's.
That is true. That
So
is true. Where that
Altoona
woman
has a lot
reported
of,
in.
yeah, Altoona has a lot of weird, like fun fact kind of history to it. Like you should look up details sometime, anyone listening about Altoona. But anyway, so that's the part that's connected here. So I
Great
also am
name.
very familiar with Altoona. Yes.
So Erica was an honor student and a basketball star. Her parents even built her a basketball court inside their home. Again, she grew up really wealthy. So this is something that parents, if you're wealthy, can do.
Yeah.
And in 2001, Erica graduated cum laude from Mary Washington College. Is that in
I believe
Maryland,
that's in
DC?
Pennsylvania, actually,
Okay.
Mary Washington. I'll check it out while you're going through this.
I sort of relate to this, but underneath the surface, Erica reportedly struggled to make friends and suffered from anxiety and OCD. As someone who, like, at least suffers a little bit from anxiety and a undiagnosed form of OCD, I don't struggle to make friends, but I sort of understand this where everything seems like great and up front, but really you're just like struggling behind.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hear that. I feel that. Mary Washington, I'm wrong, is in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
gotcha. Thank you for looking that up.
Yeah.
So, Ocean City detective Scott Bernal later described her as having a quote, an inferiority complex. Benjamin was the son of a business executive, excuse me, and grew up moving across the Midwest and Texas. Um, I'm curious how like the wealth of the family growing up like that, like ever really affected like an inferiority complex and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I'm curious kind of how that manifested, but
Yeah.
BJ was athletic. He was ambitious. He actually eventually became a Navy SEAL after finishing at
Wow.
the top of his training class in 1997. This man is accomplished. There's no one
Hmm.
more disciplined than Navy fucking SEALs, let me tell you. Like, I can't even begin to. Like, I often wonder, could I do a day of training if I wanted to become a Navy SEAL? I don't
You
think
know,
so.
we often will talk about Navy SEALs on this show. I feel like this isn't the first episode where there's been a Navy SEAL. I would love to have a Navy SEAL on the show and just like interview them and be like,
I would love
what
that.
kind of shit do you get into? You know?
Yeah, like I just want to know like what, and I'm
Yeah,
sure a lot of it is classified because they
I'm
don't want to like
sure.
give their training, but like
But just the
I just
physical part.
gotta
Yeah.
know. Even
Yeah.
the stuff that scares me is probably the underwater part more than anything else,
Oh
because I
God.
think you have to be able to dive and hold your
Hold your
breath,
breath.
and
Oh my God.
these men and women are just heroic in so many
Yeah,
ways.
I
But
agree.
however, BJ had a reputation for being a little volatile. After multiple misconduct offenses and traffic violations in Virginia Beach, he was dismissed from the SEALs. And by the early 2000s, BJ sported a large
Oh,
swastika tattoo across his chest. This sort of makes me think every conspiracy theory always leads to just hating Jews, and it really does. Like I don't know if you saw on Twitter the
to
other day
some
that Elmo
degree.
was tweeting, like kill
I
all the
did see
Jews.
that.
I don't know why this, as a Jew, this is just like very confusing to me as to why people around the globe hate us so much. But a large swastika tattoo across your chest in 2000, to me, says something like maybe he's got, like, to me, if this was a football player, I'd be like, I wonder if he has CTE. Like the
Yeah, for
guy,
sure.
the ex football player that went into Blackstone this past week in New York City when I was there
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
openly
yeah.
shot four people, and he claimed that he had CTE. So
Mm,
interesting. His own
yeah.
mother would later say he changed completely after meeting Erica, entirely severing contact with his family. And this is often one of the biggest red flags, I think, in relationships and in families, when you start to notice that your son or your
Distance.
friend starts to not be around as much. And there is a line
Right.
of saying like, okay, I have a family now. I have a girlfriend. I have a boyfriend. So you're going to spend time with them. But when you're completely severed and have no relationship, there is no
Well,
excuse for that except abuse, very insidiously to me.
and then the tattoo, the reputation for being volatile, like it's adding up to some kind of disturbing
Yeah.
situation here. Well, Erica and BJ met at a bar during her senior year of college when they were both 20. Their relationship was fast and intense. They actually got married in Las Vegas just weeks after
God.
meeting. The two even, excuse me, let me just get that
Take your
out of the
time.
way.
Just do a voice changer so that way it wouldn't even matter. And then you
I
can
know
just
I
be like,
should.
"Urgh."
Oh my God. Sorry about that. The two even violated Navy regulations so that Erica could follow BJ while he was on deployment. That decision was one of several that led to BJ losing his career. And after his dismissal, BJ actually returned with Erica to Altoona. And with help from Erica's parents, the two opened a scrapbook store called Memory Lane,
What a
Lane. I
juxtaposition.
know. Well, you wouldn't expect that. My voice is just falling apart today.
A
They also
scrapbook store.
a
Like, what is
scrapbook
like, is
store.
that like supplies to make a scrapbook? So what do they
Listen,
sign?
back in the
Tape and
day, it's
binders?
I literally think it is that, like a mini Michaels or something.
Okay.
Well, they also began selling stolen merchandise online, developing increasingly disturbing obsessions. Erica was obsessed with collecting Hooters memorabilia,
Can't blame a girl for that.
while BJ kept pet cobra snakes named Bonnie, Clyde, Hitler, and HIV. That
I
might be the
don't want to
weirdest
laugh.
thing. I know. That might
Yeah,
be the
that might have
weirdest
been the
thing I've
weirdest
ever said.
sentence
Yeah.
you've ever said to
Yeah.
me. You know those t-shirts, and maybe you've probably gotten me one where it's like it'll be like for if it's like a gay guy, it'd be like Madonna and Gaga
Yeah.
and like for me it'd be
And
like
share.
Jerry
Yeah.
and George and Elaine and Kramer. This is like a shirt that's
I know where you're
Bonnie and
going.
Clyde
Yeah.
and Hitler and
And
HIV. And
HIV.
and like I just want to wear it around for people to be like, "Hey,
What is that about exactly? Can
and
you
I'd be
talk
like,
to us?
is it the Hitler or is it
Is
the
it
HIV?
the
Because
other? Yeah.
to me, it's not even the Hitler. To me, it's the
I
HIV.
know. That's the weirdest part. Like, what the hell?
Oh
But
God.
also,
See
like,
where
this
this is
kind of,
going.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, you can kind of see, unfortunately, like the type of maybe psychosis going on here. So the two drank heavily. They did anxiety pills, referred to themselves as Bonnie and Clyde as well. And according to Erica, their relationship was extreme. It was abusive. It was manipulative.
I
So
bet.
you're really getting the picture here of the type of people that we're dealing with.
This obviously ties back into her inferiority complex, right? Because obviously she comes from a good background. So
Right.
it's not like she needed him
Yeah.
necessarily for money. I'm sure her parents would have helped her out. I mean, I'm making assumptions, but like from what we know. So obviously this is like these types of people have some weird sixth sense to prey
Yeah.
on really vulnerable
Yeah.
people, you know?
Well, the thing that's coming to mind for me is, as we talked about the research here, they were doing pills, they were doing this,
Right.
is there's clearly drugs going on here. Like you can be
Yeah.
have a great upbringing, be an all-star athlete, but you get
But the moment
addicted to
meth comes on the
drugs.
table, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, listen, this isn't to shame people in addiction. It's just a disease that, can take hold of anybody. But for this story, it's kind of becoming clear something like this is part of that story.
Certainly
Well,
exacerbates something that's already maybe dormant
exactly.
within you. Yeah.
Yeah, and when asked about this, BJ claimed that he never actually even wanted a baby. He just wanted to test her loyalty. Imagine being able
Ah,
to admit that. Well, despite everything, these two actually remained completely inseparable.
yeah.
So
This is like the definition of like codependency in such a
I
very
was just thinking
abusive
the same
way where
thing.
it's so
Yeah,
toxic that, and you can see it from the outside.
right.
Well, by May of 2002, they had planned a burglary spree targeting Ocean City businesses. I just wonder because she came from a wealthy family. Like, what is up with that? And on the evening of Saturday, May 25th, 2002, Joshua and Martha met Erica and BJ while boarding a bus to Secrets nightclub.
Now,
John,
everybody, if you've ever been to
John,
Ocean City over the age of 18, you've heard of Secrets. I know where Secrets is. It's been there forever.
is
It's
it a
popular.
like burlesque? Is it like a strip club? Is it just a
No, no, no,
club?
no. It's a club. It's like it's just like a beach bar and it's gigantic. There's a dance floor, there's good food. It's the place to go if you're trying to go out um in Ocean City in the summer especially. Yep.
Okay. Well, Joshua offered to cover their fare when BJ and Erica didn't have the correct change. And the two couples hit it off. They spent the evening drinking and dancing together. And later, the Sifrits invited Joshua and Martha back to their penthouse condo at the Rainbow Condominium Complex. Again, these people are living well. They're
Yeah.
living well. They're in a fucking penthouse condo. At
Yeah.
some point, so why are they planning a burglary? At some point during the evening, Erica accused the couple of stealing her purse, and BJ pulled a gun on their new friends, demanding it back. This seems like something that was planned ahead of time.
Can I
And
just
Josh,
mention one thing?
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt you, but the Rainbow Condominium Complex, if you so there's like Ocean City is like one long kind of like island essentially. And there's a strip of like high-rise
perfect.
hotels
Or
like
yeah,
kind of in the cluster in the center of this of the island, and the rainbow is very noticeable because it's the only one that has like a logo and there's like a bird, and like I remember always being like, "Ooh, there's the rainbow," because like I was like weirdly obsessed with all the hotels, and like coming from a small town, seeing these
of
like big
course.
giant skyscrapers were just really exciting. So I remember this one specifically, and I see it. I
Wow.
think it's still there as it is. So yeah,
Well, apparently Joshua and Martha were forced to strip naked to prove
yeah.
they hadn't taken anything while being held at gunpoint, essentially by BJ. In a
Hmm.
desperate attempt to escape, they hurried to the bathroom and locked themselves in. But the
Wow.
Sifrits followed, and BJ kicked down the bathroom door. Gunshots rang out. Erica later told investigators that she ordered BJ to shoot them. Joshua, unfortunately, was killed by four gunshots.
Hmm.
Martha suffered two stab wounds dealt by Erica herself, who could not say for sure whether Martha was already dead when she cut her.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. After the killings, the Seafrieds dismembered the bodies. They disposed of the remains in a dumpster behind a food lion in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware,
Also, where I was at the just a few
and
weeks
where
ago.
President Biden used to vacation.
That's right.
Because he
Yep.
would talk about it.
He still does. Yeah.
Roughly 30 miles from Ocean City.
Yeah, 30 miles, but a good hour drive based on the annoying traffic. So
In a weird way, I wonder if like any training in Navy SEALs, not to like dismember a body, but I wonder if you kind of
yeah,
learn about that a little bit and just training, or what if you have to sever something on yourself? Or other people, like I'm just curious
yeah.
what the training is. It's obviously not meant for nefariousness like this, but I wonder if you're not a doctor, so I wonder if he has like a high
Right.
knowledge of this more than maybe you and I would.
Yeah, very, very possible. I mean, the one thing that's really weird to me about this is not weird, but just, and I hate to say that I have to think like this, but they're on the beach. Wouldn't you think that they would try to dispose of the remains in the ocean or in the
Ocean?
bay, or that area of Maryland and Delaware is so swampy. It's just so funny that, not funny, but disturbing that they would just put the remains in a dumpster behind a food
Yeah.
lion.
These people
Nonetheless,
don't seem that intelligent,
no.
but yeah, yeah.
No, they're not. However, friends and coworkers grew worried when Martha and Joshua failed to show up for work on May 28th after their trip. And their belongings were still in their beach rental, but the couples had vanished, of course. Flyers soon covered the boardwalk looking for the missing couple, but meanwhile, the Siffords continued their vacation as if nothing even happened. On
KK.
May on May 31st, 2002, Erika and BJ were arrested while trying to steal $5,000 worth of items from Hooters.
Like, what do you think that's about?
Well, she likes Hooters memorabilia, so maybe that's, remember they're trying to sell this stuff online.
No, I
Also,
know, but like,
2002,
why that? It just like, it
well,
seems odd.
in 2002, Amazon wasn't quite a thing.
Yeah, no,
Purchasing things,
they had
eBay
eBay
was.
stores, like,
That's right, exactly. So maybe it was like their way of making things happen. I want to mention one other thing too before we move on here. This time of year is also spring or senior week for a lot of people. So like
mm,
in May of 2002, at this exact time, I had very, very close friends that were probably down there partying and having a good time
I'm
in these
sure.
exact moments, like literally less than a mile away from them. So
God, it's
his
scary.
Ocean City was like the place everybody in my hometown went to for senior week. It was cheap, it was affordable, it was a good time for a couple of
Right.
days, and you'd come home. And I don't, just to be clear, senior week is what happens after you graduate and you go on a little trip with your friends. I know not everybody
Yeah.
does that in the world, but that's what it was. So yeah, about the Hooters stuff, I'm just assuming they're trying to take advantage of the Hooters memorabilia to sell online and make money from. Well, at the time of their arrest, Erika had a knife and a loaded 357 Magnum in her purse. BJ was carrying a 9mm handgun. Inside Erika's bag, police also found shell casing and IDs belonging to Joshua and Martha.
Like, girl, you're gonna throw out the bodies in a dumpster, but then keep the IDs and keep the shell casings. Like, you want
Yeah.
to keep the shell casings, I understand, so that they're not on the crime scene and they can't register the gun. But like,
Well,
dispose.
it makes
Not
you
that I'm
wonder,
giving
like,
advice, but like,
yeah, maybe don't
Lord.
give advice, but I mean, maybe they thought they were going to be able to get away with it and go steal their bank accounts as
Or
well,
or it's yes, or it's like yes, stolen identity for sure. Or it's like
Right.
people, you hear about even Dexter, right? Like the scripted show, like he would
Mm-hmm.
keep those like blood samples from his like victims, quote
Yeah,
unquote. Like
yeah.
people do keep that stuff, and like criminals aren't that smart, and thank God that they are not.
Yeah, I hear you. When detectives searched their vacation condo, they uncovered a bullet containing Joshua's blood and tissue. After her arrest, Erika had a panic attack. She asked officers to get her anti-anxiety medication before immediately admitting to the murders. She
Yeah.
initially blamed BJ, but revealed more and more during the lead up to receiving a polygraph. Eventually, she confessed to stabbing Martha and gave investigators a disturbing play-by-play of the killings. She also told the Secret Service that BJ had made her get a snake tattoo on the exact spot where she stabbed Martha. The couple even returned to the bar where they met their victims and bought a tank top as a souvenir. So,
I'm so curious about these couples because and I'm not saying this, but like if she is claiming, if
yeah,
Erica is claiming that BJ like made her do this stuff,
do
of which,
this. Yeah.
like she's still a murderer, but under duress, which
Yeah.
I feel like it's more like manslaughter. I don't know
I
if it's
hear what you're
murder
saying. It's a
one.
different
Like
intent,
it's
right?
a
Yeah.
different type of intent where you feel forced to do it. Like someone puts a gun to your head. It's funny because I was watching. Do you watch Squid Game? Do you watch Squid Game?
No, I don't.
But you know the premise of it.
Yeah, it's like yeah, yeah.
It basically it takes like quote unquote the degenerates of the society, the people that have had like the biggest debt,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And puts them in a game, and you win. For every player that dies, there's like, a million yuan added to the pot. And essentially you get to walk away with like 456, billion,
Yeah.
whatever.
Whatever.
Um,
Yeah.
and Nadine turns to me when we're watching because we finished it, and she was like, could you like, because some of it's like mother and son are in the game
Yeah.
together, and like sometimes you have
Yeah.
to choose who's going to die. And she's like, could you ever do it? And I was like, under normal circumstances, no. And I go, but if it's me or them in the world, I gotta pick me. Like
Hmm.
self-defense. Like if gun to
You
my
mean if
head.
it's a mother and son? If
Well,
it's
if it's
you as a
like
mother and son?
Nadine was like, could you ever imagine killing, someone in your family? I was like, well, this is a game, and like you're entering this game with the idea of that. And I was like, if the choice is for you to die or for me to die, not
Hmm.
necessarily mother and son, because I think I would
I
probably
see.
choose to die, but like someone random, it's like, yeah, it has to be, I have to choose myself in that
Yeah,
scenario,
I
but
get
you're kind
that.
of forced to be to choose that. It's just an
Yeah.
interesting dilemma of like, now what is she guilty of if she's kind of doing that?
Yeah, for sure. And we've heard about a lot of those types of very high profile cases where that's been
And
somewhat of the
Stockholm
case.
syndrome, and
Yeah, yeah.
that's a real psychological thing.
Listen, if she's a female and he's a Navy SEAL, I mean, there's going to be a physical control dynamic there, if nothing else, right? So,
Yeah, exactly. And on May 29th, just days after the murders, a woman named Melissa Sealing befriended the Sifrits. After hanging out for a while, BJ and Erica invited her and a friend to their condo. Once again, Erica claimed her purse was missing, and BJ pulled a gun.
hmm,
This is a very common thing. He told
yeah,
Melissa that if they had stolen from him, he would do the same thing to them as he did to the others, pointing to a bullet hole in the door as proof. I feel like if he pulls a gun, I feel like that's kind of obvious that
yeah,
he's going to do that.
yeah, right.
BJ later, quote unquote, found the purse where they'd already searched. Melissa and her friend got out alive. I wonder why. Melissa herself
Yeah.
would later testify at BJ's trial. And on June 3rd, 2002, 9 days after the murders, police
Mm.
found Joshua's torso and Martha's leg in a nearby
Ugh.
landfill. Due to widespread media attention, obviously, the Sifrits were tried separately in different counties. Did you ever hear about this case just kind of growing up near
Yes.
there?
Oh,
Okay.
yes, I definitely did. I have more to say about that too in a second when you're through here.
So they were tried separately and in different counties. I wonder why?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just to like, I don't know, keep
I,
the
I or like keep the press down maybe because
public
like they
around.
wanted,
Yeah.
yeah. BJ's trial began in Rockville, Maryland on March 31st, 2003. He claimed he had fallen asleep in the car during the murders and only helped cover them up. Convenient that he's like, okay, babe, you go murder. I'm gonna go take a nap.
Yeah.
Well, power nap, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But he did admit to dismembering the bodies. On April 9th, the jury convicted BJ of Martha's second-degree murder. He was acquitted because remember, Erica
Yeah.
stabbed and admitted that. He was
Right.
acquitted in Joshua's death largely due to the ambiguity surrounding the
Mm,
bullet and the incomplete remains. The
wow.
judge, Paul Weinstein, sentenced BJ to 38 years in prison, calling him a butcher, and said it was one of the only times in 2 decades he had disagreed with a jury verdict.
Interesting. So even
Interesting.
though the jury acquitted him, he was still sentenced to 38 years in prison. How does that happen
Because
exactly?
he was convicted of Martha's second-degree murder, but
Oh,
he got
right.
off
Okay.
on
Got it.
Josh. And if he got off on Josh, he probably would have gotten life. Excuse
Yeah,
me, I was
right.
taking a drink.
No, that makes sense. So Erica's trial began on June 3rd, 2003. She wept during most of the proceedings, but barely reacted when the verdict came down. On June 11th, she was convicted of first-degree murder in Joshua's death and second-degree murder in Martha's. So sort of the
How is
reverse
she
there.
convicted of first degree and he gets off? I
I
don't
don't
get
know.
that. I
The
guess
jury was
juries,
Yeah,
different
well, it
opinions.
says here the jury was swayed by photos of her wearing Joshua's ring on a necklace, what prosecutors
Ooh.
described as a trophy, which it does look that way. Erica was sentenced to life in prison, plus 25 years. Both Sifrits each filed multiple appeals, all of which failed. In 2010, BJ divorced Erica, citing her felony conviction.
Well, of course.
Oh, because
Of
suddenly
course.
we have a thought about that.
Morality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He became eligible for parole in 2017, but postponed the hearing. When he finally appeared before the parole board in 2022, not that long ago, it lasted nearly 2 hours, but the board ultimately denied him parole.
BJ is still incarcerated in Roxbury Correctional Institution and cannot request another hearing until he presents new information. His mandatory release date, though, is currently set for 2030, so 5 years
Not
away.
far away, yeah.
Erica remains imprisoned at the Maryland Correctional Institution for Women in Jessup. She became eligible for parole last year in 2024, but is still serving her life sentence. The case captured national attention for its senseless violence, lack of motive, and the bizarre behavior of the killers. Again, she grew up wealthy, so that doesn't track either. It's been featured on multiple true crime shows and was the subject of the book Cruel Death by M. William Phelps. For the families of Joshua and Martha, there's no undoing what happened, but their
Right.
stories remain powerful reminders of the dangers that can hide behind even the most harmless seeming encounters.
Yeah.
John, what do you remember about hearing about this case, considering you kind of grew up around there?
Yeah. I mean, well, I went to senior week in 2004, so just 2 years after this, and only a year after their trial and sentencing. It was
Did they like
every
warn people
Oh
about?
yeah, like not necessarily warned, but I remember like a lot of my friends because I had a lot of friends in the year ahead of me. I had a couple in the year 2002, but I graduated in '04, and many of my friends went. And I remember having conversations with a lot of my friends' parents where they were like really worried and like they wanted everyone to check in and like not everyone, and this is going to make me sound so old, but not everyone had cell phones even back then.
Sure.
So like nowadays 5-year-olds have cell phones. It wasn't the case in that point at that point. So there's a lot of like worry back then. I remember the year I went, so again 2 years after this all went down, my friends and I make this joke because one night, I want to tell this story. One night I was going to meet another group of friends on the other side of Ocean City, and I took a bus down. And when I was on the bus, there was this guy, and he was like kind of drunk, and he was getting onto the bus, and he was carrying this gigantic cooler with him.
Okay.
And it was like whatever. I was like, I'm just gonna get off, like down when it's my time. But he turned to me and
Oh
he
God.
goes, and he's like, hey, he was like, I'm really sorry. He was like, would you be able to help me just move this cooler to my friend's condo on the next stop? And I was like, oh no, I don't think so. Again, I'm alone on a bus. It's at night. I remember it was at night. I don't think it was late at night, but it was night. Not many other people on the bus. I remember that.
Smart thinking on your part, because you might have been culpable for a fucking murder because your
Well,
fingerprints would
that's
have
what
been
I'm
on a
getting at.
cooler with body
Well,
parts.
that's what I'm getting at. So I was like, no, I don't really want to. And then he's like, please, please, I'll give you some money. Like, I'll give you money to like take me, or take it. It's just back here. Hard to explain if you don't know where Ocean City is, but it's on the coastal highway is the highway that runs up and down. The Bayside condos, like on the Bay side of Coastal Highway, which is not Oceanside, it's the other side, the Bayside. That's a good like almost half a mile walk back to some of those condos, like depending on which one you're at. He was like, please, it's just so heavy. And I was like, I don't think I can.
How the
And
fuck did he get it on the bus in the first place?
somehow he got me to help him. I get off the bus. He's got one end of it. I've got the other hand. And I'm walking down these dark fucking alleys in Ocean City
Oh my
two
God,
years
oh my
after
God, oh
this
my God, oh
happened.
my God, oh my God, oh my God.
The whole time I'm there, I'm thinking, there's a dead body in this cooler. Like, there has to be. The guy was a little sketchy. He was around my age, but he was a little sketchy, like, probably there. In retrospect, it was probably full of ice and beer. It was
I'm
probably
sure.
nothing. But at the time, everyone was certain it was a dead body because that's what everyone was spooked about, the story. And
Wow.
I will never forget like walking back and like I had to help him bring it into this garage. And I kept thinking like if he starts to close the garage, I have to like run at full force out of this garage. But I set it down. He said thank you. I don't even remember if he gave me the money. And I was like, okay, bye. And I like ran all the way back to Coastal
Bolted.
Highway to get my bus back to my friends. But to give you the what I'm telling you this for is that there was so much of this like murder that just happened, and there was like I feel like the dismemberments part of it like really freaked people out. You don't
How could it
in
not?
early 2000 you didn't really hear about that happening in Ocean City, especially. Ocean City had this very like and still does to a certain degree, but especially back then had a very like family friendly allure to it. Like this was
Sure.
the place that you could come bring your family and be safe and have a nice vacation.
Sure.
So for it to and for this to be like the face of Ocean City at that point was very palpable even 2 years later. So Scary, right? That story that
I
I
mean,
just
what an
told you.
interesting story, because it's like you don't
Yeah.
think about these little things. And listen, like most people aren't carrying dead bodies in coolers, right? So it's
No,
like
it's true.
you do
Yeah.
want to be a good citizen, you do want to help people out. Like,
Right.
that makes sense. But I think around that time it is interesting because, yeah, like would you have been implicated in a murder had that been, and then they found your
Yeah.
fingerprints, and
I
like,
know.
how do you prove you were
Yeah.
just helping somebody move a
In an era
cooler?
where like cameras weren't nearly as around
Right.
as the way they are now. So it wouldn't be an
Wild.
easy case. So yeah, it's a
Well,
really unfortunate case, and it really hit home for me in a
I
multiple
bet.
ways. And
Well, let us
we'll
know
see
if
what
you guys
happens.
remember this case,
Yeah.
if you're around there, if you're from there. I don't remember it, but I was also
Yeah.
14 and living
Yeah.
in New Jersey at the
New
time.
Jersey. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm sure it was on the news. I'm sure it made the news. I
Yeah.
just wasn't paying attention. But let us know what you guys think. And let's end on some positivity with some listener
That's
shout outs,
right.
John.
Yeah, Sandy tagged me in our Facebook group to let me know that there's a dating app, Daryn, being made just for pickleball players. In fact, she wrote, quote, John Thrasher, a potential new dating app for you, edited to add only if it doesn't work out with David Archuleta. Thank
Yeah,
you,
that's fair.
Sandy. It
That's fair.
will work out with David Archuleta, so I will not be on that app. Thank you, though.
Do you want to date a pickleball player?
I've always kind of envisioned like, yeah, like someone that loves tennis and pickleball, like being very compatible with me. And like, yeah, that would be nice because then they would
Okay.
understand my passions and they would maybe want to play and that could be a thing,
Do you think that the app's going to be called Pickle Tickle?
I think we should move on
Okay.
to the next
My
one.
listener shout out, Candace in our Facebook group asked, I'm an OG listener. I was wondering if you guys still keep in touch with Matt and whatever happened to the reindeer head. Does Matt have it? He definitely has it. He must. Where else would it have
I'm
gone?
sure he stole the reindeer head.
I'm sure he
Yes.
wears it every single night.
Yeah.
Thank
By
you
the
for
way,
being an OJ listener, Candace. First of all,
and
thank you.
many people, I don't know if you saw this in our Facebook group, but they were like, I'm here for this question. Yes, following for this answer. I'm like, oh, well, we haven't heard from Matt, to be
We
completely
have
honest with
not
you
heard from
guys,
him, so
for many
we don't really
years.
know, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him pretty much since COVID.
We really should do some sort of Patreon episode where like we just tell everybody what we've been saying for many years at this point about Matt, which is we just haven't heard from him. And like put it on Patreon and be like, if you want to know the Matt situation, this is it. We just haven't heard from him. And
Yeah.
I feel like people think that there's some like conspiracy about it, but it's just Matt went
I
on
think
to
he's
do
just
his thing and we did
homophobic.
ours.
I think that's it.
That's that too. It could be
I
that.
think the only reason.
For legal purposes, that was a joke. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Wait, is Matt here right now?
Oh, hey, Darren and John, it's me, Matt. Can you hear me with my fake voice?
Yeah, you could be the new Matt.
Maybe I'll just be Matt on the
Maybe
show.
Magic and Snoopy could do it.
Well, by the way, Matt in character was a part of, to some degree, our Shaken and Disturbed special Halloween episode a couple years ago. So you
Yes,
have to
so
dig that one out if you want to hear that one.
He's still a haunting figure, but maybe we will do a Patreon episode about it. And be sure to
Why
join us
not?
on Patreon
Yeah.
and help support the show. If you're listening to this on our main podcast feed, you can get a full week earlier on Patreon and perhaps a
Yeah.
little Matt tea and drop.
Yeah, why not? Your support goes a very long way if you do help us on by joining Patreon at patreon.com/shaken and disturbed, or you can click the link in the show notes. I think the star of the show, Daryn, however, was our most recent video that everyone could see no matter what tier you were in, which is Snoopy dancing. And I thought it was such a cute video. Everyone loved it. Everyone was commenting about how adorable
How
it
could you
was.
not? You're a murderer
Yeah.
if you don't love that. Like, period, end of sentence. How could you not,
So-
John?
Yeah, Darren's pointing to her now. She's a cutie.
Yeah, le papa shaba.
And you have to listen to, guys, go listen to last week's NMR so you can hear Darren's story about reuniting with Snoopy. It's so cute. So cute.
Reunited, it feels so good.
Again, we have to go on to
Oh,
the next thing.
okay.
Guys, that's it for this week's episode. Take care and brush your hair.
And obviously, please be neat and wipe the seat.
We'll see, especially if if it's the bus and there's a dead body in the cooler.
Especially then.
Okay. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.